Happy Halloween, everybody! Hopefully by the time this video comes out, it'll either be Halloween or Halloween may have gone past, but still, Happy Halloween! And we have 2 videos lined up for you for a special Halloween event. In these 2 videos, I will be flipping a coin, a trick-or-treat coin, in fact, for every time the characters make a skill check or skill roll or any type of roll and they fail, we will flip the coin. Heads being the trick and tails being the treat. At the end of the 2nd episode, we will tally up the numbers of both tricks and treats. However many trick coins we get, will summon a certain creature that the characters must fight off. The higher the number, the stronger the creature. And with the treats, once the creature is killed, the characters will receive a magical item, following the theme of Halloween. The higher the treat number, the stronger the magical item. Now, enjoy today's episode, and have a happy Halloween.
Previously on The Created. Viktor, in his starved frenzy, leaps through the doors just as they slam shut, landing on the paved slabs of the entrance before pouncing for Charlotte's flesh. Clawed hands outstretched as his starving fangs lust for her blood. Charlotte screams as she desperately tries to bat him away. Swings and a miss, and then swings and the bat goes flying as she slumps to the floor screaming. Viktor, with saliva coming, just flinging out of his mouth, chomps down onto her throat. As Charlotte screams in pain, but finds that she can't quite get any breath out. As she stumbles up the stairs, collapsing to the floor, picks herself back up again, and her body is in pain from stumbling onto steps, from being bitten, from being slammed into the floor. She starts banging away at the door. "Let me in! Please! Open up! Let me in!" And the door is locked, and there is no signs of life from within the inn.
Where are you?
Charlotte, not wanting to be in this town any longer, does not want to stick around for whatever's happening here and for whatever's taken hold of Viktor. She is just gonna make a run for it and leave. "Help me, Viktor! Come to your senses, please!" These cries of help and reach out, unbeknownst to her, into the dream realm. I will keep it true to how the divine intervention is. It will be acting as if she is, a level 10 cleric. So it's a 10% chance. There's very little chance of doing it. I'm going to choose 10 consecutive numbers rather than scattering them around. I'm picking numbers between 22 and 32. My brain kept screaming 21 at me, and normally I should ignore the loudest thought when it's like, pick that number, because it's normally wrong. But I kept thinking of 20s, so I'm going to go 22 to 32. Nope. There goes the divine intervention. Nope. That's a 44. No help from the quarry. Her cries are not heard, and they reach no one. She will sprint. Continue sprinting out of town with Viktor close behind. Viktor will, as Charlotte leaves the town, Charlotte, in Viktor's eyes, seems to just disappear within the thick mist, and her footsteps can no longer be heard. He even loses her scent and stops short of leaving the town, and will begin trying to smell her scent and try and pick up where she may have gone, whether she ran to the left, whether she ran to the right. And this will be a disadvantage.
Critical fail.
That will actually work with what is happening here. Okay, so with that critical fail, let's roll on the table.
I'm here to fulfill Razagul's destiny.
You've been baned. Oh. Viktor's now been baned. Okay, so much like a boon, he's getting a bane. I was born in the darkness. For Razagul's destiny. Vulnerable. Dark gods aligned with your enemies have cursed you. Until the end of the next combat encounter, you have vulnerability to D6. Wait, to D6, 1-2 bludgeoning, 3-4 piercing. Ah, I see, I need to roll. Alright, so we roll to see what he's now vulnerable to. To bludgeoning. It would have made sense to be vulnerable to piercing with what's happening here. Viktor is now currently vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. Alright. So Viktor has just instantly completely lost where Charlotte has gone. It's lost the scent, lost the smell, lost the sight. It's as if she's just vanished or teleported or something, and starts moving back. And what I will need to do is I'm going to need to roll 2 d8s. One for Viktor, one for Lashana. A 1. A 6. Viktor, looking around, sniffing the air and picking up the scent of the horses again, is now going to be more inclined to go feast on a horse. But as he does, the carionets that were waiting in the alleyway have now moved into the stables. Now, unfortunately, I can't just put them where they are. They all kind of snap into position. But there are 6 carionets here. All of them are assisting each other to carry a large pitchfork as they charge down towards Viktor. Now this is taking Viktor completely by surprise, so they will have advantage. "16 is not enough, as Viktor's armor class is 18. They charge towards Viktor, aiming for his knees. But Viktor snaps into their direction and slaps the pitchfork to one side. The pitchfork flies out of their hands and against the stable door of one of the horses. As the horse backs away from the door, the carionets collapse to the floor and pick themselves back up as Viktor will lash out at one of them. I'm not going into turn-based mode as I don't feel like I will need to. So Viktor will unsheath the sword that he has and start swinging at these carionets, and they are closely bundled together, so he should be able to catch 2 of them at least. With an 8, I was going to actually change it to disadvantage due to the mist. But I'll roll again in case it's a critical fail. Nope. So with an 8, he does miss. He swings through, and the dolls will be hit by the sword, but it does no damage. They just get pushed to one side, and instead they actually just latch onto his sword. And Viktor, now swinging the sword around, trying to get them off, not paying attention to the other 3 that are crawling up to him, and they will each stab him with a needle. 1, 2, 3. Each of them missing, with Viktor lashing out and moving around in his frenzied state. It's making it difficult for the dolls to jab him with their needles. Viktor is going to slam his sword to the ground, and then, ignoring the fact that there's 2 latched onto his sword currently, he's still going to use it to bat the other carionets away. Again at disadvantage. He gets a 20, so that hits. I will say he manages to hit 2 of them as they're all bundled together. Didn't do as much damage as he hoped, though. However, he does have an extra attack, so we'll get him to swing again at disadvantage. An 8 will miss. So he hits 2 of the dolls away. He hits 2 of the dolls away from him. They go flying. And swings at the 3rd doll that's beside him and misses. The dolls pick themselves up and go running straight back at Viktor. The dolls on his sword are slowly climbing their way down to his hand. And so now he has every doll in range of him, and each of them are going to jab him with their needles. As Viktor is there going... So I need 5... I think I said there were 6 dolls, but I've put 5 down, so we need 5 attacks. 1. The first one hits. I would say there'll be another 2 jabs at him. 2 needles dig into Viktor's flesh. So we'll do damage. There's 1. And there's 2. As the needles sink in, this necrotic energy is burning into his flesh. It doesn't hurt him as much though, especially with him in his frenzied state. But him being part vampire, it's like he's almost accustomed to the pain. I don't believe he's resistant to it at all, but just for flavor, I'm saying that he is accustomed to the necrotic energy and the pain that it causes. He will now, however, got 2 charisma saves, DC 12 that Viktor needs to make. And he does have high charisma. He still has his baboon. Right, so here's his first charisma.
Critical fail.
Oh. Oh. His boon of luck will not protect him there. I'll do the other one just to see if it's a double nat 1. A double critical fail, I should say. No. Well, well, well. Look who's getting the critical fails now. Let's roll on the forfeit table. Exhaustion. He gains a point of exhaustion. Okay. I think how I will flavor this. As Viktor gets jabbed with these needles, one sinking into his hand and another sinking into the back of his leg. So the first needle that sinks into his hand causes him to flinch and release his grip on his sword, which causes the two carronets to then fall. And as he releases the sword, the carronets like ah as they clack onto the ground. And the needle pings out of his skin and dinks onto the concrete floor. And that the needle there does not curse him. However, the one that's in the back of his leg, the carionet holds it there and sinks it deeper, causing this ethereal thread to form and tie itself to his soul. With this burning stab into the back of his leg, it breaks Viktor out of his frenzy, and he begins to come back to reality and calm himself down, as he now finds himself where he was once sleeping in the police station. Viktor's face goes from pure bloodlust and rage into now exhausted fear as the frenzy subsides and his bloodlust leaves him. That bit of blood that he did have from Charlotte has sustained him and slowly brought him back. His vision goes blurry as he sees these dolls standing around him. He's naturally going to just reach for the sword and try and swing at the dolls that are next to him. He picks up the sword and raises it over his shoulder, ready to slam it down on the ground. This energy building up, and the blade of his sword begins to shine with like this white radiance as he begins to channel a spell through it. However, with that critical fail, the other dolls that are around will jump onto Viktor, distracting him enough for one of the other dolls that fell to the floor to attempt to possess his body. Viktor must now do, as there were two dolls that fell to the floor, must do 2 charisma saves, as these two are trying to soul swap with him. First one he saves. Second one he fails. Viktor, distracted by these dolls that are latching onto him, he bats one away and he sees this doll kind of T-posing and shaking and convulsing. He kicks it away from him as it flies maybe like 10 feet away. However, he does not see one that's hiding in the shadows just to one side in this building, who's also T-posing and convulsing, and Viktor begins to feel his body go stiff. What is happening? Charlotte? Oh no, sorry. Lashana, because I don't know that your name is Charlotte yet. Lashana, forgive me. The sword falls out of his hands and clangs to the ground. As the sword touches the ground, and it had a channeled spell into it, the moment it hits the ground, a thunderous smite booms all around. And I will say, rather than 2d6, we'll see it will be 1d6 as it's clanging onto the ground and then going poof, releasing a shockwave. So we want to see if this hits the carronets that are around. I'm just flavoring this. This isn't actually part of the spell, but oh, it's just the first time you hit with the actual sword. Well, I mean, the sword hit the ground, so it hit. Okay. We'll do strength saving throw from the carronets, the 4 that are around him. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 11, 14, 11, and 6. And the DC was 15. So all of them failed. Okay. We'll roll damage. It's going to be half the damage. So I'd say round down, I'd say 5 points of damage that it will do. Apply half. Yeah, there you go. It says half. It says 5. The sword falling to the ground hits the concrete, releasing this thunderous smite that had been channeled into the sword, creating an explosion of thunderous sound to boom out around, blasting the carionets off of Viktor and falling prone around him on the floor as they all scream out like as they are all fallen prone, including the one that was T-posing and possessing him. Viktor, his arms, as if pulled by strings, will quickly snap into, like his left arm snaps upwards as if pulled by his elbow. His right arm snaps upwards like a hanging carionet. His neck will click down, his bones crunching as his spine straightens. No! Alright. Viktor, much like Zadim, staring into the empty, misty space around him. Charlotte, running for her life, attempting to flee from the town of Odiare. And as she leaves the town, the mist gets thicker and thicker and thicker until she is completely blinded to everything around her. She hears the sounds of footsteps and children running, some laughing, some calling out for their parents. We're at the end of the episode now, but before we go, we're going to do our little coin flips, as these have all been recorded disjointed due to Death Chicken and his Halloween specials, so we'll do them now at the end of the episode. Heads meaning trick, tails meaning treat. I counted about 7 failures throughout this episode, so we'll be flipping the coin 7 times, and we'll do the same on the next episode as well. I'll do it at the end, and that will be the final flipping, and we'll see how many tricks we have and how many treats we have. So that's heads. And tails. Okay, so it's even Stevens at the moment. Tails again. Number 4. It's tails. So that's 3 tails, 1 head. Number 5. It's heads. Number 6. Heads. So we've got 3 tricks and 3 treats. And it's another tails. Hey, there we go. So we got 3 tricks and 4 treats so far. The higher the number, the stronger the monster, or the better the magical item. We'll be getting 1 of each, so 1 monster and also one magical item. Alright, well thank you everyone for watching, and I'll pass you over to Blorf.
Oh my. 3 characters down and only 1 left. I wonder if Charlotte can survive and hopefully save the other party members. In order to find out, you'll have to tune in next time. Receive notifications by simply subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like to show your support. Also, share your comments below, and maybe yours will be read out next time. But until then, take care, and I will catch you cool cats later. Ah, what are these boxes? Oh, these are the other videos. Yeah, check them out too. Check out the other videos. There's this one. That's pretty good. This one here, that's good too. It's got like more than one video in there. This thing on my nose. Could you like click on it for me? It might get it out of the way. Well, this is awkward. Bye-bye. You can go now.